Section 3 of War Poems and Other Verses by Robert Ernest Vernède. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Other Verses. The July Garden. It's July in my garden, and steel blue are the globe thistles, and French grey the willows that bow to every breeze. And deep in every currant bush a robber blackbird whistles, I'm pickin' these. So off I go to rout them, and find instead I'm gazing at clusters of delphiniums. The seed was small and brown, but these are spurs that fell from heaven and caught the most amazing colors of the welkin zone as they came hurtling down. And then some roses catch my eye, or maybe some sweet williams, or pink and white and purple peals of Canterbury bells, or penciled violas that peep between the three-leaved trilliums, or red-hot pokers all aglow, or poppies that cast spells. And while I stare at each in turn, I quite forget or pardon the blackbirds and the blackguards that keep robbing me of pie. For what do these things matter when I have so fair a garden, and what is half so lovely as my garden in July? Standen, July 1914. To a Princess. What sorer fate shall one win in the world than to be lowered from love's first estimate, to see her heart grow cold, her brows elate, questioning, and lips with scorn a little curled, then on her cheeks the blushing banners furled, that told of love's alliance, and, too late, the irrevocable guest gifts alternate, into the ebb tide of oblivion hurled. Not wittingly, O sweetheart, did I seem larger than my real self. If it were so, only in thy light of splendor did I glow, so splendid as to earn thy dear esteem. And if the dream is gone, and I must go, remember that I loved, and did not dream. Who is your like of all that Grimm portrayed? Is lovely Locks a lady of his pen? Or would you play at princess scorn the men, who to an hateful goblin's power betrayed, was rescued by a princess' magic blade? Or may be you are beauty, as I deemed then when first you came into my wandering ken. Beauty, a tennis-playing English maid? I care not what you be, for all, at last, were won to look upon the proper man. Beauty and lovely Locks, the unsurpassed, and the fair scorner, sick of Caliban. I loved so much at last that none grew paler to find their prince was, maybe, but a tailor. O happy times, when lovers' only need was fairy godmother, or magic sword, or tablecloth that spread a sumptuous board whene'er the prince expressed a wish to feed, when waiters were invisible and unfeed, when ocean was no wider than a ford to 7-league boot, and mangy scrips could breed of gold an unimaginable hoard. What prince today can carve a dragon's shank, and in a flying trunk without a fear elope with the dear lady of his heart? Now at a ledger he must ply his part, and wearily in some suburban bank weigh love against £100 a year. A delirium. So this young life is gone from us. God send peace to his soul. Amen. And we that grieve some little consolation may conceive, and dwelling on the days that death made end. How stainless, 70 times 7 did I offend. How full of splendid promise should he live. Kind lips that lie, what promise did I give? How well beloved, thank God I had a friend. I'm on the wings of some tumultuous night, adown unceasing silences, along wastes where wild-eyed deliriums sink and swell, by crazy shores and seas that circle wrong, bodiless, mindless, without voice or sight, speed to the maze and madnesses of hell. Friendship. I had a friend, and so we went together, merry and armed for every kind of weather. Far was the road, but tired no man could find us. We laughed at the hills, so soon they dropped behind us. I had a friend, yet not long had we started, when we fell out, and in our anger parted. The clouds dipped down, the mountains rose to screen him. O passers-by, long years I have not seen him. Far is the road, and always it is lonely. I am a man, and therefore march I, only it lures me not, the goal for which we started. I seek my friend from whom I parted. An apology. Listen, I also have a lady fair, whose praise in many a passionate rhyme should ring, were I not weak, for all love's licensing, the wonder of her beauty to declare. And while your lady's loveliness you blare, I tremble lest my notes fail on the string, lest men that hear me question, wondering, was't beauty that inspired so poor an air? Yet when all songs are sung, all praises told, and you demand with your last proudest tone men's verdict, is the prize for his or mine? I shall but show my love, saying, Behold, what song shall match her? And all men shall own your words less weak, my lady more divine. To an English sheep-dog. Old dog, what times we had, you, she, and I, since first you came, and with your trustful air blundered into her lap, a valiant, shy, small tub-shaped woolly bear. What lovely days we had! How fast they flew in hillside ramblings, galloping by the sea. You grew too large for laps, but never grew too large for loyalty. We have known friends who living passed away. Your faith no man could turn, no passion kill. Even when death called, you would scarcely obey until you knew our will. Out in the fields I bore you in my arms. Dear thick-coat, on your grave the grasses spring. But he that sees no sparrow meets with harms hath your soul's shepherding. And will that King who knows all hearts and ways kennel you where the winds blow long and fair, that you who ever loathe the warm still days may snuff in upland air? And will he let you scamper o'er the meads where his hills close their everlasting ranks, and show you pools that mirror gray-green reeds to cool your heaving flanks? And will he feed you with good things at even, bring the bowl with his own hands, maybe? And will you, hunting in your dreams in heaven, dream that you hunt with me? Yes, you will not forget, and when we come, what time or by what gate we may not tell, hastening to meet our friend that men called dumb, across the ditch of hell, you'll hear, you first of all, O strong and fleet, how you will dash an arrow to the mark. Lord, but there'll be deaf angels when we meet, and you leap up and bark. To a hippopotamus. Lines written in dejection on seeing a river horse. A fragment. Beast that wattlest in the ooze, where mid-Afric rivers lose sight of the sheer hills they left in silvery leaps from cleft to cleft, but not yet with gathering roll have espied their final goal, that great sea which we and they must be mingled with some day. Beast that in this midway slime passest a primeval time, say, what fancy did give birth to thy super-monstrous girth? Did the devil think it well to hoist thee up one day from hell, so that the crystal streams might be churned with thy vast turpidity? Or did he think, to stay a flood, this nightmare horse is very good, seeing that with his gulf-like mouth he could drink ocean to a draught? The Kid and the Tanner. A white kid on a village green, imagining itself unseen, sported in such a graceful manner it caught the attention of a tanner. The tanner watched and mused and said, To see you prancing on your head, some foolish folk, O milk-white kid, would very gladly pay a quid. To me it seems a sort of shame that one so young should, for a game, without a thought of what is meat, render himself too tough to eat. The kid replied, But, Mr. Tanner, it's lovely playing in this manner. Why should I then, my young life spoiling, cease to become more fit for boiling? The tanner frowned, though fairly mild, such heedless language made him wild, or, as he would himself allege, set all his moral self on edge. Each kid, he cried, by nature's laws and man's, subserves some higher cause, not merely his own goatish pleasure, and ought to learn to be a treasure. Now you'll be useless for the pot, and far too gamblesome, God wot, to draw along at nursemaid's pace a goat-cart in a watering-place. The kid, believing that this view from one so serious must be true, first wept, then said if it knew how 'twould be a better goat from now. The tanner mused. He wished to aid a helpless creature that had strayed. He mused for quite a lengthy spell. He wished to aid himself as well. "Really, I hardly know what you," he said at last, "are fit to do. Stay, in my tannery at least, your skin could be preserved, poor beast. Nay more, if you will be advised, you can become immortalized, and though from you 'twill have to sever, your skin may gambol on forever." Dear Mr. Tanner straight replied, the wondering kid, much gratified, "I find it very hard, believe me, to think my ears do not deceive me. For how, dear Mr. Tanner, how can that same skin I'm wearing now, shorn from my frame so lithe and taper, continue, as you say, to caper?" The tanner smiled. All business men enjoy a whimsy now and then, and chiefly when the indulging of it may cause a gain, not loss, of profit. The tanner smiled and cleared his throat, and said on quite a merry note, "No, kid, a nymph as gay as you requires a shoe, or rather two. Your skin once tanned and healed and soled and lacquered to the tint of gold will just suffice to make those slippers size number 4 to fit her flippers. Thus then, when you are dead and gone, still will a kid go capering on, or rather, 'neath her skirts will glide 2 twinkling kidlets side by side." The kid, persuaded in this manner, gladly accompanied the tanner, and entering his odoriferous portal, with great dispatch became immortal. Moral: 'Tis better, kids, to frisk and frivol than to take counsel of the divil, even though he has the business manner and state appearance of a tanner. End of Section 3. End of War Poems and Other Verses by Robert Ernest Vernède.